Like and subscribe to this podcast channel, and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Eric Mintel Investigates. Here they are, Eric Mintel and Dominic Sattele, Paranormal Projection Room.
So here we are, Dom, again.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're trying something different, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be more of a podcast.
Talk about some of the investigations, talk about some of the things we've captured, just riffing, goofing off.
Yeah.
No script.
As we usually do.
Pretty much.
You know, and we're going to open this up, eventually to, different guests to kind of chime in.
That would be cool.
With us. That'd be kind of cool if, they have the time. But I'll tell you, the things that we're doing now are unbelievable, man.
This has been phenomenal. I mean, we started off real small.
Yep.
Just doing little movies and off the cuff things, and then all of a sudden when I came on board and I was like, hey, we can make this more serious and find out more in depth, it just skyrocketed.
Well, when you came on board and said, I can help you out on your investigations because I'm a spirit medium, and that blew me away back then.
Yep.
And everybody that I tell that story to, that you and I have known each other since high school, and never knew that because it was more like a stigma thing, right? Back in the day. Because you've had this your whole life. Right?
Yeah, I've had it since I was like 3 years old. And it was, you were, picked on, you were, ostracized, pushed up and tried to stuff in lockers. I wasn't very big back then. So, I mean, there was a lot that went along with it. And I wanted to be part of the crowd, not be on the outside.
Yeah, and hence why you went into martial arts, because you just didn't want to deal with that crap. But, and now we're in a great environment, though, now, because people are open to this, And how many people have we met, right, that have had your same gift?
Yes.
And that are also developing it.
Yep.
And then to the point of, not even knowing they had the gift.
They would always feel something, but they had no idea what that was that they were feeling. They always get that, I got that in the pit of my stomach, or, I had this gut feeling I should go left and I went right and something bad happened. Or, I was doing this and, finance wise, and they were like, this isn't a good opportunity. I'm going to go this way.
Mm-hmm.
And they listened to that inner voice, that extra thing, and they had a good experience.
Yeah. And it's when we started this back I started in 2016 and started doing, we were doing very tongue-in-cheek kind of stuff, but then it started getting more serious. We started doing McCool's Red Lion Inn.
Oh, yeah.
And with more restaurants, bed and breakfast, and places that were actually calling us and saying, look, would you guys want to come in and do this investigation?
Sure.
Because, we think it's haunted here. So I love, and you've heard me say it before, but I love working with forward-thinking people.
Oh, absolutely.
That, know that what we do, first of all, people love what we do.
Oh, well, and we're doing it in a truth-based way. We're
Right.
not doing it gimmicky. We're not doing it, and we're not faking anything.
Yeah.
Everything we do, that we find, that we see, hear, feel, it's all truth. Nothing is made up.
Right.
So that, I think, just the realism of it, that people can see and go, yes, that's exactly what we want.
I mean, and I've dragged you out to all these different. I mean, you don't hunt cryptids, you don't do Bigfoot. You're a medium. You're dealing with ghosts. But here we go. We're dragging you out to Elkhorn, Wisconsin. Before that, it was Hillview Manor.
Oh, yeah.
But Elkhorn, Wisconsin, to investigate the Beast of Bray Road. And you've heard me say it. I didn't think we were going to ever, capture anything out there, but we did.
We're on the plane, and all you keep saying is, we're going to make a great documentary.
Yeah.
We'll interview these people, hear their stories, but I'm not expecting anything.
Nope. Until the night of October 3rd of 2021, when you, me, Ellen, and Scott were out there. It was
phenomenal.
Crazy.
Well, and you know what I always think about is the guy that had the wooden statue.
Yes.
Of the beast in his front yard.
That's right, yeah.
And signs everywhere, no trespassing, whatever. You went up, knocked on the door.
I was waiting to hear.
Waiting for the shotgun, and the guy was like, Oh no, go ahead, take pictures. Because you explained to him what we were doing, how we were doing it.
And I think
That was a big thing.
and I think you're right. It's a better way to do it, to approach it that way. If you just go up and ask somebody, look, is it okay if we take some
Yeah.
video out here? Rather than if I didn't ask him and we're out there traipsing around in his lawn, I would be pissed too if somebody was
Oh,
out there like, what the hell's
absolutely.
going on? But at least if you're polite to people, I think, as in our martial art training, right? If
Yes.
you're nice to people, nice gets back, right?
Exactly.
Until you're not nice. But it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
but he was like, he was cool. But yeah, there's surveillance cameras all, and I'm waiting to hear, and you're like, that's it, we're done.
Well, and then on top of that, we're filming on Bray Road. So we had the vehicles parked on the side.
And what does
And
everybody say?
everybody was stopping. Oh, the police are going to come and kick you out. And the police officer stopped
Yeah.
and he's like, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're doing this documentary. He's like, all
Yeah.
right, thanks. And he left.
And he left. Yeah, he didn't give us any crap.
Nothing.
It was, and he was. I mean, I think he even heard about it.
Oh, well, he
So,
had his own sighting or something about it, but it was crazy.
yeah.
We're going, and the people were with Ellen and all. They're like, "Oh, you can't park on the side." We're like, "Just park here; it'll be fine."
Oh my God! And then we meet Steve. We met Steve
On
Ward
the road, on Bray Road.
on Bray Road. He sees us filming and then goes ahead and turns around with Brandy, and they
Yep.
come out and that was just wild. So we could actually say that we met Steve. We became
Yeah.
friends on Bray Road. But
Which is hilarious.
that case was crazy. I mean, and we're still wrapping our heads around the whole thing.
And Lee keeps sending you more and more
Yeah.
stuff. So
And
I mean,
stuff's still happening out there.
all the time, and it hasn't calmed down.
No, not at
So
all. Not at
it's,
all.
if anything, it's ramped up more since we've been there.
Yep.
And I mean, even when we went back and the town hall meeting.
Yeah, that was like 6
and
months later.
yeah,
That was
just
really crazy. Yeah.
wild
For
stuff.
for those listening right now, we did this investigation of the Beast of Bray Road in October of 2021, had the encounter with this creature, and then 6 months later went out
Yep.
to thank you Ellen Collins too for both videos,
Absolutely.
because we were able to do this through Ellen, and we went back to Elkhorn 6 months later, had a big town hall meeting at
Yep.
the Matheson Memorial Library, and 140 people showed up. It was and telling their story
Oh
of seeing
yeah.
this thing. So when you have that many people that were really like on board with saying that, hey, I've seen this thing too, I don't know what it is.
And it's crazy when we were out there and we had our shirts on, we had our
Yeah.
jackets on, going into the restaurant to go in for lunch.
Oh man,
People are stopping us
bombarded.
and just, hey, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're here for the Beast of Bray Road. Let me tell you my encounter. And that was before we even went
Yeah.
back
Oh, I
6
know.
months later.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
that day,
Yep,
the first
exactly.
time. And then once we were there and for the 6 months and in April, and we were talking to the town hall, their stories and the amount of people that agreed, and their stories just matched.
Oh yeah.
And it was all different walks, from bus drivers
Yep.
to truck drivers to homeowners. I mean, just all over the board.
Yeah.
And every one of them,
Every one of them,
it was this creature. This is what it looked like when it stood up. It
Yeah.
glided. When it got down on all
It
fours,
was really
it was
fast.
super fast.
And
Red eyes.
yeah. Oh
I
God.
mean, just big black. 7 foot tall. Every one of them sounded the same.
And it was a pretty good depiction of that wood sculpture in front of the guy's
Absolutely,
house.
And when we came back, and the gentleman that's in the video, Beast of Bray Road, alive and well, the guy that he didn't want to be seen,
Oh right, the state
and
worker.
the
Yeah.
state worker,
Yep.
with him and his partner explaining what the sound was that we exactly heard.
Yep.
There's no way his hearing that same sound when we were out there. He
Oh.
had no idea what we heard.
Not at
And
all.
just absolutely floored me
Yeah.
that it was that sound, and he recognized what it was and how it sounded.
When I looked at
Freaked me out.
oh, when I know, and you could see it on the video too, on your
Oh,
expression
yeah.
and Ellen's too. When we heard that third howl, we were all like really jumped up, like what the hell is out here?
Oh, yeah.
And then you said to
could get
shine the
that
light
feeling.
over to the corn, and all of a sudden we see eye shine over there.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, okay, that's it. We're out of here. That was
Yep.
it. And people are like, well, why didn't you guys stay out there longer? And I'm like, no, no, thank you.
Because there was more than
There was
one,
more,
and
definitely
they were
more than one.
surrounding us.
There was definitely more than one for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, the corn was still up, and you could hear it rustling in the corn.
Yep.
No way
It was crazy, man. And then I mean, then some of the other stuff that we've had, the week after that was Bigfoot and the Pine
Oh
Barrens.
yeah.
You know, also going back to the follow up of the Beast of Bray Road, we went back there and we utilized your gifts in the field that night to see if you could tune in on what was going on there, and you were getting a little bit, but not much, I don't think.
I was getting a lot of stuff out there, a
Like
lot
Native
of Native
American. Yeah.
Americans, and we talk about it, and you and I had discussed it more than once about the ley lines
Yes.
of the area, and there's ones that are close that run right through there. There's Indian burial mounds that are out there, and that's all part of it, making it a big hotspot.
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy. And then we go back out to the Pine Barrens, and then
A week later,
we're investigating another cryptid out there, Bigfoot in the
yes,
Pine Barrens. And the first time out there again, we had this encounter with something out there.
absolutely,
And that's something that people could see. It's Pine. The first video is Pine Barrens Bigfoot, and the other one's part two is On the Watch for Squatch.
yeah.
But what blows me away is when you figured out this thing with Art Mac.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
it's
can you explain that to people?
I when I first met Art and him and I were talking after we heard, our first thing out there, and we before we were going back a second time, I was already tuning in on stuff with Art and him going through some stuff, talking to his mom a lot more. His mom appeared to me and she was saying, "Check on my son." And when we met him in the parking lot waiting for Eric Spinner, I started talking to Art.
So wait a minute, I didn't know that she came to you before we met Art?
Before we met
Oh,
Art
wow.
that second time.
Wow, okay.
I was tuning in on Art,
Mhm.
and when we were sitting in the parking lot and Art was there, and all of a sudden, his mom was standing with him, and I was already getting the visions
Wow.
before. So I said to him, I said, "Art, what's going on?" I said, "You've been talking to your mom a lot more," and she had already passed. And he goes, "Yeah, I have." And I said, "What's going on?" And then that's when he divulged that he was going through cancer
Mhm.
treatments, and it was, he wasn't great, but he
Yeah.
was healing.
Yeah, thank God.
And it was, talking with his mom, and then I was able to talk to him some more and give him a message from his mother. And I said, just standing there talking with him, I'm like, "You've been, what is going on that you're not sleeping well at night, that you're getting these visions?" And the connection between him and Bigfoot was he was seeing through Bigfoot's eyes,
Mm,
and Bigfoot can see through his.
mm.
They have some kind of a connection. And I really think it's because of him going through the cancer treatments,
Yeah.
how close to death he had become, not knowing until he started getting better.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that connection remained strong.
So that blew me away because of the second follow-up. And
Yeah.
I always say this, when we're talking about that, Art was sitting there and he's like, "Hey guys, I don't know if it's the medications I'm taking or what,
Yeah.
but my heart is really racing right now." And with that, we hear a cracked branch behind us. We see
Oh, that was
the
and
branch move,
that
right?
was a huge, it wasn't
It,
just a crack, it was
it,
like a
it was,
clump.
yeah, it was like
Oh, it
whatever
was
it was.
loud.
Something huge just hit it. And then we see this, we flip around, see this branch going like this, or this whatever it was, and then and then I saw two yellow eyes just about
Yeah.
7 feet up, and then they disappeared. And you could, and even Eric heard and we heard
The
the
clump,
clomping
clump,
back into the
clump
swamp.
running away.
But what always gets me with that whole situation was how Art had that feeling, whereas you just found out that they had this connection,
Yep.
right? And I'm thinking to myself, well, is Bigfoot watching us and getting nervous that we're there? And that's why his heart was
And
feeling like going crazy.
you mentioned that now, and I think about that, and I would agree that Bigfoot was more apprehensive
Yeah.
because he didn't realize there was going to be that many people there. And
We always it's always a party, right?
it's a party.
But poor Art, man, we didn't even check on him. He could have face planted right there in front of us, but he was fine. But
Yeah.
oh my God,
Well,
man.
the kicker was is that we were sitting there, we were fighting batteries dying again, my
Oh,
watch dying,
I
phones
keep
dying,
forgetting to tell everybody that too.
everything that was
So
going on. I mean, that night.
so guys who are listening here, we got zapped this second follow-up
Yeah.
investigation. Dominic's your Apple Watch went out.
Went out. Yeah, the battery was charged and it just dead.
Our lights that we were using. Eric brought another light. Eric Spinner brought a circular light that got zapped.
Yep.
My phone went down in power.
Yeah.
It was insane, and that was right around. Wasn't that right after we heard the crack?
It was like right around the time we heard the crack. Yeah, because I mean the camera battery started to die. You had a spare.
Yep.
The light that we were using on the camera that started to die right away, and that was fully charged before we left.
And what other things zap the energy? What other
portals?
That or
aliens,
spirits.
Yeah.
And that's why we brought you down on the second time, because we wanted Eric's idea. Eric Spinner, Bigfoot researcher down in Medford, New Jersey area. He said, "Is Bigfoot a ghost?"
And that's his whole thing with that is, is Bigfoot a ghost? Is Bigfoot a spirit? What are they seeing? And that area, the bowl that they call it over there in the Wharton State Forest, there's a lot of bog iron. And that iron also retains energy, and
it's like iron pyrite, right? Or
it's not. They mined it, and they were trying to mine it for machinery.
Okay.
But the iron content wasn't high enough for that.
Okay.
But it's wild that whole area, because it's a lot of it's swamp area.
Oh yeah.
So, and I go back to thinking about Florida and the Skunk Cape, because the swamp area is down there. I'm like, well, maybe it's a misidentification, and is it the Jersey Devil? Is it Bigfoot? Is it a Skunk Cape? What is this thing?
Yeah.
But hearing the whoops and the footprints, it's definitely a Bigfoot.
Something down there, because I mean they've been getting these creatures crossing the roads, going into neighborhoods, getting the garbage out of the neighborhoods, going back into the forest, and Eric's been getting those tracks. He's been casting tracks, hair samples. I mean, Eric's even had stones and sticks thrown at him. It's been phenomenal, man. I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, phenomenal in the fact that he's getting that kind of evidence. Just where we started, to where we're going.
Oh.
Is unbelievable, man.
This is a teaser.
I know. It's a teaser. It's something that Dom and I are just blown away by.
Absolutely. I mean, we kind of got off track, but I mean, the places that we've gone, above Pittsburgh,
Newcastle,
Delaware,
Hillview,
Connecticut.
Yep.
Down to Maryland to the Kitty Night House.
Kitty Night House, yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
Honestly, we've been a lot of places.
We have 150 videos out there, man.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. And I mean, it's like I'm doing a ton of editing, and I love it. I love editing. I mean, and you are so great to work with. You and I both have that great energy together, so it makes it easy.
Oh yeah.
To be able to edit these things.
One take wonders.
Yeah, because you know what I want. You know what it's all about. And I feel like you and I, when we first started doing that years ago, we wanted to try to do that self-defense video for women, and it never came to fruition. But I'm glad. I feel like now we've come to full circle with this, because now these videos are really, because I knew even back then that you and I had that spark.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to do this.
Absolutely.
And when you came back into the mix after being gone for what? 29 years, right?
Well, you got married, I got married.
Yeah, and then
kids, life.
Life gets in the way.
Separated.
Yeah.
Now we're back.
Yeah.
And I look at it and I say, I say to my wife all the time, the people that we've met is absolutely phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And we've met some really powerful people.
God. Yeah.
Casper Van Dien.
Casper Van Dien from Starship Troopers.
Yeah. He played Rico.
Hollow. Yeah. Johnny Rico, the lead character.
Yeah. His wife.
His wife, Jennifer. Phenomenal. Jack Maxwell.
Ron Ruggiero.
Yeah.
I mean, we've met some actors that have been out there doing this, and
we could call them friends.
We absolutely can.
Which is really cool. And then the other day, I met Heather Taddy from Paranormal State out at the Carbondale Alien Festival. And all these other people, Nick Pope, who spoke at the Paracon last year. This year, for the Bucks County Paracon on March 8th of 2025, we have Dave Schrader, who's from the Holzer Files. You've seen that on the Travel Channel. And also he has a radio show, The Paranormal 60, with Dave Schrader, which is really cool. I mean, we've Charles Halt from the Rendlesham Forest UFO incident. Isn't that crazy? From 1980? One of the most incredible cases, documented cases, that still hasn't been explained.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, and then we got Tom Carey,
Jim Krug.
Oh, I mean, Jim's awesome too. And
these guys are awesome. And Tom Carey
and Stan Gordon. Stan Gordon.
Yeah. I mean, Tom Carey, lead guy on Roswell, and to hear his thoughts and helping us with our investigation with the Pine Barrens.
Not knowing that Tom was a freaking anthropologist.
Well, that's it.
I mean, it was amazing, and he knew what Bigfoot's name was.
Oh yeah,
like the scientific name. I'm not going to tell you. I can't pronounce it right now. Meganthropus. Oh, Meganthropus paleojavanicus. That's
there you go.
Meganthropus paleojavanicus. Thank you, Tom. So Tom's going to do a great talk too at the paranormal convention, Roswell Deathbed Confessions.
That's awesome.
It's going to be. Well, I mean, here's a guy that has interviewed the original witnesses that actually handled the wreckage from the 1947 Roswell UFO crash and saw the alien bodies. Of course, it was covered up immediately by the government. But here we are, right, Dom? Here we are now. Yesterday, they just had the Senate hearings on the UAP and UFO disclosure. It was
unbelievable.
And these guys are coming forward now. There's more stuff that came out yesterday.
And there's going to be more that comes out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Incredible.
It's going to be amazing. And just to see that and hear that and go, hello.
Yeah.
They're admitting this stuff is going on. Pilots are admitting, from the Navy and from the Air Force going, we saw this tic-tac. There was no signs of an engine. This thing was spinning around us, and we couldn't even keep up.
I mean, you got that pilot David Fravor, who's like one of the most decorated pilots in the Navy. Here, seeing this, this thing, or in the Air Force, I mean, but just it's incredible, man. So there's going to be a lot more coming out of that. So that was yesterday, but here we are. Like back then, it was all hush hush, but now they're saying, "Hey, folks, the UFOs you're seeing are real. We just don't know what they are." But at least we're looking into it. But I'll tell you, man, it's been incredible, and you and I both have got a lot more work to do this year. We've got a lot. We're going to be doing. No. We have new videos coming up. We're going to be doing the Miller Symphony Hall in Allentown.
Yeah.
The Amos Hughes House in Buckingham. Wow. We're going to be doing Northampton Library in the Lehigh Valley, a haunted house in Boyertown. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff going on, and more coming.
And and this past month, October, you were 28 days. You were doing libraries and talks and everything.
Oh yeah.
We really didn't film much, but I mean, we were busy with everything.
It's funny because people would think that we're going to be doing videos in October, but we do them all year long, like up into October, and then we show the evidence and do the premieres of those videos that we're showcasing for those venues.
Yep.
So like we did the Old Lime Inn, and the Old Lime Inn up in Connecticut, Ken and Chris Kitchings, phenomenal place. I mean, they're phenomenal people. I've played there with my jazz quartet. Actually, we're going to be playing there in December. And they were great to work with. What blew me away with that one is, again, on the way up to this thing, you're sensing this spirit that's not liking the way the place is run. And then I go in and talk to Chris while you're walking the grounds.
Yep.
You're nowhere to be found. And she just blurts out, "Oh yeah, when we first came here, I felt like there was a spirit here that did not like the way things were run. And it was coming from the top of the stairs."
And she had her girlfriend who was a sensitive.
Yep.
And her girlfriend was like, "Yes, it's this, and it's this," and it confirmed everything.
Unbelievable.
It's just crazy.
It's so having you on these investigations is great because you're giving us a preview, and also with Julie.
Yep.
Julie Krause is another psychic medium that we work with. She's out of Horsham, Pennsylvania. But she's great. I mean, she does a great, phenomenal job and real easy to work with.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, let me ask you this. What case, beside the Beast of Bray Road, obviously, because that's like number one for us, beside that one, what was the most kind of scary case that you...
would have to be Hillview Manor.
Really?
Yeah, because, and the reason why is, Vampa Museum as well. I mean, the Vampa's probably trumps Hillview Manor.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was Hillview Manor, and it was seeing the creeper, catching that on video.
And that was in the middle of the day too.
Middle of the day,
freezing
in there because there was no heat.
Oh God!
The place was abandoned, and people went in and stole the copper piping, and they basically stole wiring out of the walls.
That was a shame
because it was abandoned, and they're fixing it up slowly. But yeah, that one I would say was probably the scariest until we did Vampa. When we were at Vampa, and whatever entity, and you have to watch the video. I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Yeah.
But
Paranormal Pickers Part 1 and Part 2, but Part 2 especially.
Part 2 especially. And I mean, you're still getting people sending you videos.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Of that area.
Yep.
With what we heard.
Same thing.
Same exact thing.
Blew me away. I was
freaking people out.
Yep.
And me, hearing it more than once, and having that entity reach out and grab my shoulders.
That was crazy. I didn't know that.
See, that was
night,
enough.
I didn't know that you were so freaked out. I didn't know that until afterward, because you were so freaked out.
Oh yeah,
I've never ever seen you that freaked out, because you could hear it. When you look at the video, ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna see Dom in a whole different light, because I tell people during my talks when I show that that he's really upset here. And I know Dom, and this is not anything that he's genuinely got scared of this thing.
Absolutely. I mean, it tried to, it tried to attach itself to me to take me over, and I was just no. I mean, I prepared for that, and because I was reluctant to go back into that space.
I know, and I dragged you in.
And even Julie, when she was there, she did not want to go through that room, and I ended up, holding her hand and basically trucking across and giving her protection to get her across to do her interview with you, and just unbelievable.
So now going back to that, remember we did the test video, we did the test preview in June.
Yeah.
So we do this test preview in June, guys, and here we're in the barn of the museum, and we do this
about 100 degrees.
It was we had like 30 fans going on at the same time, but people were there, man. It was packed. It was packed. At the end of the second part, everybody starts clapping. They start giving us a standing ovation. All of a sudden, we hear bam, crash.
Oh yeah.
Something in the back of this barn. Of course. Back of the barn, what did we hear there?
Well, and we're talking with Ed. Julie was getting the sense of something falling. And Ed's like, "Oh yeah, a chandelier fell, hit me in the head. Here's the scar. You can still see the cut." And then
we hear that thing again.
Boom. We heard that, and that's when I said to you, that's the same sound we heard over there
in the museum.
And you're like, what?
So, and then what happened? The hutch fell over.
Yeah.
In that same area where we heard the sound.
Where the chandelier fell, the sound, and I mean, we were feeling the energy that
were
there.
Freaked out, man.
Oh yeah,
Julie said, "Let's get the hell out of here."
Yeah. It cleared out
big
quickly.
Time.
We were done, but I mean, it cleared out. Everybody was standing outside in that courtyard.
Did you see Ed go ripping over to the? He was.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was pissed too, because that was
sold.
I know, it was a beautiful. I know,
and it was
a beautiful hutch too, man. It was like smashed all,
glass sides, doors.
He was freaked out. I've never seen him act like that.
And that was a heavy piece. It's a hutch. It's got a heavy base to it, that when you put stuff in it, it's not going to fall over. And this thing was just
God! And Julie was freaked out, man.
Oh
she said, "Let's get out of here." So we went over to the museum. Of course, the museum itself. You think it's a safe haven to go over there, but but I mean, it was like the museum. But Dom, we haven't even. I mean, we did a walkthrough of the museum.
Oh yeah.
We haven't investigated the museum yet.
We did a little bit with when Julie and I first had gotten there. You were interviewing with Ed, and we all met, and then we went into the museum.
Yeah.
And I picked up on the one chest being on a boat.
Right. That was cool.
It was kind of a quick investigation. It was more of an overview. Let's see what's here, what energies are here, and then we can delve into it. But when we went in, the energies that were so strong, and Julie and I were just like, no. I mean, we prepared for it. We did. The saging and before and after, and she had her I don't even know what her knives are called, but she had her
that's right,
white knives to help cut the ties, And it was just, I mean, we did everything we needed to do, but there was so much. It was just
so we're gonna have to go back. We're gonna do.
I know.
We're gonna have to go back.
I'm
I mean, but
reluctant,
but here's the thing: we're gonna have to go at night, and we're gonna have to get the lights off in that place, and that's gonna be like, I know that the fee's gonna go up double on this one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I had my rosaries, but I think I'm gonna bring a priest.
Yeah, something, man. It's crazy. So, guys, if you get a chance to check it out, Paranormal Pickers Part 1 and Part 2, we're actually working on Part 3 right now, where it's getting weirder. Very weird. There's a guy from the Order of the Vampire that apparently shows up out of nowhere. Also, another guy with these actual real fangs, and it gets weird. It's getting more and more weird.
I just read on Ed's Instagram about the doll Abigail that they found in the house.
It's been there.
It's been there the whole time. We didn't know it.
I didn't even know it either
until Ed just released that.
Now I'm wondering if that's what the hell we heard.
I'm wondering.
We're thinking it's one doll, but it could be a whole nother thing.
Oh yeah, it could be.
But we have to go back to find the back. We're working on the backstory of that doll that we found from the Robert Thomas estate.
Okay.
With the nails in it that people, people will see that on the video. We still don't know the backstory on that, so we're going to work on that. But yeah, there's so much more there. But we've got so many things going on. But here we are, Dom. I mean, in this environment that we're at, that we're in, these things are happening, man. And these people are coming forward and saying, "Look, I'm seeing this. I'm experiencing this." And you and I both are like, we're good at discerning the truth from the BS.
And that was the whole thing. You're talking about people coming forward, and Mitch Sherman and his wife coming forward to talk about this orb, and we're kind of like, okay, sure, buddy.
Yeah.
And we got you were getting reports of other people seeing
these orbs coming up to them.
Orbs coming up to them.
Shafts
of light, seeing UAPs.
What was Lee getting out in Elkhorn? Shafts of light.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And just he was getting portals.
Yep.
But going up there and interviewing Mitch and interviewing his wife and them just talking about what they're seeing, and then talking with their son.
Yeah.
And him saying, "Oh yeah, I had my buddies over because they didn't believe me."
Corroborated everything.
They're like, "We're out there, college guys going outside having fun." I'm like, "Oh, there it is."
And there's your telltale thing right there. College guys and girls looking at this thing. They're like, "Oh," and they saw it too.
What in the world? And it comes back every year around the same time. And that was the thing. Like, we started checking star charts, and we started looking to see, well, maybe what they're seeing, maybe it was
a satellite or something, but nothing
Starlink.
like that.
It's not.
Now, we're recording this on, what is today?
Today's the 14th.
14th. So this
November
is the 14th. So last night, of course, now we had this UAP Senate hearing, right?
Yeah.
Last night in Doylestown, someone saw a lot of UFOs. Leslie sent me more video of the same similar things that she's seeing. And it was like, but people were saying they were satellites, and I don't think they were. The reason why, she sent me some pictures of it, and they're all different, disjointed. They're not. They're definitely not Starlink, because you can
Starlink are in a
Have you ever seen the Starlink in action? Yeah, it's pretty wild. I was out here letting Buster out, and I just happened to look up, and it was like this train of lights in the sky. It was so cool, just silent, and it was so neat. But and I could understand how people try to get a picture. And try, you've got like a 5-second window, right?
Oh yeah.
And by the time I got my camera out to take the picture, it disappeared. It was gone. And it was weird. Why does it disappear though? Are they?
Well, it's not that they disappear. It's the way the light reflects off of them.
I guess
it's
right.
The refraction of the light off of them makes them visible where you are. And as soon as that angle is at a certain angle, you can't see them.
Then you can't see them anymore.
But I mean, you can go on your phone, you can go on the computer, and you can say Starlink tracking, and they'll show you a map of where Starlink satellites are.
Oh, okay, cool.
And there's a whole blanket of them around.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to me because they're low Earth orbit.
Right.
So they're not out in space.
Right.
But they're far enough up that the Earth's gravitational pull isn't pulling them back in.
Right, they're not pulling them back down. Yeah.
So, I mean, and it amazes me is that they're floating around like that, and it's just wild.
It's amazing, man. Well, I'll tell you, So I tell you, Dom, we've got so many more things to do this year. I think this year is going to be great, and we're going to be giving people a little teaser about where we're going to be going very soon.
Yes.
And I'm just going to say, cheerio. But no, seriously.
Hello, Governor.
That's just a little teaser.
Some tea and crumpets. Little hint.
Little hint. But listen, I can't wait, man. I mean, we've got so many more things to do. It's going to be so much fun, man.
Oh yeah.
I
mean, Sir Galahad.
Oh my God!
Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
we're going to see these guys.
I know, absolutely, man. And ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing. A couple of things that you could find out about us. Now, Dominic is doing spirit readings. He's doing them both online, also in person. So where could they find you, Dom?
Spirit Medium Dominic, and it's DOMINIC at yahoo.com. You can reach out to me there. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and I answer all of them.
And you guys can reach out to our Facebook page as well, and I'll get the message to Dom.
Yep. Or our website, MintelInvestigates.org.
Reach
you
out
can go there, click on the link, send Eric an email. He'll get it to me.
And we're good to go.
Yeah.
And also, I have a new book out. It's Eric Mintel Investigates Casebook Investigations, which is available on Amazon. And I'll also have those at some of the events that we've got. We'll be doing some book signings and stuff like that. So, I mean, we're here for all your paranormal pleasure.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's it. That's what we're here for. So, and like I said, like we just said before, we meet some really incredible people and can't wait. The other thing is too, Dom, I know we've been toying around about this, but I'm going to put it out there right now. I think what we need to do is do an investigation where we invite people.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, let us know. When after listening to this, leave us some comments.
Yeah.
Let us know if you would love to join us on an investigation.
Yeah.
Let us know if you would, want to be on the podcast. Share your experiences. Let us know.
That would be great. Yeah, because we're like I said, we're just starting the podcast now for both of us, and this is something that it's going to be like where we're going to be. We're going to be talking amongst ourselves about our different cases, but also, like I said, having special guests come on and talk with us. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So I think it's great. This is for our first one. I think we covered a lot, but there's so much more to cover.
We rambled.
We did.
I'm sure we need to nail it down to a certain topic.
We have the gift of ramble. But listen, guys, thank you so much for listening. Dom, as always, man, what a pleasure.
Absolutely.
A little bit of
Appreciate it.
A little bit of a pain in the ass.
I didn't steamroll him this time.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
We'll talk to you soon.
Like and subscribe to this podcast channel, and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Eric Mintel Investigates.